my favorite form of chow, chow, chow. Wow, eat now.
Hey everybody, Surrender Spy Monkey, aka Mr. Jermaine here again, and today I wanted to bring you guys my Gunkin Sue ship, Gunkin Sue ship, sort of like rice inspired deck. It's mainly besides including all the Sue ship are Gunkin / rice monsters. Which is really awesome and really cool. I could not be actually printing something this fun. um, um, I have cards in there sort of to reflect my character, Kacy, who is sort of inspired by like Hanyo Koizumi, who of course loves rice. My character, Kacy, is actually more a fan of hash browns, specifically cheesy hash browns, which is actually my favorite food. Yeah, hash browns, rice, they're not exactly the same thing, but yeah, until I get an actual hash brown archetype, which probably never going to happen, I'm going to run this bad boy. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, this is after I've already finished the deck profile, I guess, but uh, one of my favorite places to go to eat in town here. I live in Fargo, North Dakota, and yeah, I'm a Midwestern boy, in case you can tell. I don't know if I have an obvious like accent or not, but yeah, I really enjoy going to the frying pan and like just spending money on like cheesy hash browns and whatever. They make like the best like cheesy hash browns like in the world, in my opinion. After Hamburger Helper like changed their recipe like back in like 2014, I want to say. I don't know, I kind of stopped eating them for about like a good like 6 years after that. But then I found like the frying pan, and uh, their like way of making them is just like it's like just like so like delicious. I'm I'm like really happy I found like that restaurant, and the guy like restored my love for the food. So like now I'm able to actually like enjoy them for like I've been going there since like probably like sometime like early 2020, late 2019 probably. But yeah, I just like I love their food, even though they sometimes like screw up. Like this one recent time, they put a lot of like they put like salt, like an overabundance of salt in my hash browns, which made it like really hard to eat. But yeah, sometimes I'll just go there and like spend like $50 on like I don't know like 8 to 9 orders of hash browns and bring them home so I can like just I don't know like eat hash browns for like a good like week for like at least like one meal like every day, and like that stuff is like really filling. Like even like one side of it, I get pretty full off of. So yeah, just wanted to take this opportunity to like shout out Frying Pan. Like they're not like perfect, like no restaurant is, but like I don't know, like I can forgive their faults, and like I don't know, like 8 times out of 10, they're like perfect. So yeah, That was just my story about like my love for hash browns, I guess. Uh, also, as a kid, I would always like uh, my parents would always like warm up make hash browns for me like early in the morning, and I would have them for breakfast, and also I would like bring them to like I would bring them to school with me like for lunch in a little thermos. So yeah, and they like tasted like really good in there actually. Yeah, but that was like before like Hamburger Helper like changed the recipe, and I haven't gone back and tried them in a little bit. So I actually don't know what the Hamburger Helper cheesy hash browns actually taste like anymore. I've been thinking about giving them another shot, I guess. um, yeah, I also used to be a pretty big fan of like rice. Um, there was this one specific brand of rice that I really loved, and I think it was like something to do with chicken, but they had this like green, like leafy kind of stuff in it, yeah. And the rice was like this golden kind of like yellow kind of tint to it. And yeah, I really liked like eating that stuff as a kid. I haven't actually eaten rice for like probably like at least like a decade or so. um, yeah, maybe like one of these days I will like eat a bowl of white rice or something. But yeah, that was my story about, I guess, my life with like rice and hash browns, and yeah, I love hash browns. Back to the deck profile, I guess. And because you're wondering about my character Kacy, her boyfriend, who is based off like Mokuba, makes it for her all the time. So yeah, start off this Gunkin Sushi rice deck. We have 3 copies of Gunkin Sushi Shari, which is actually really strong, has 2,000 attack points, 0 defense points. So, like, most of the cards in this deck actually can be beaten by, like, House of Adhesive Tape. Um, this all the artworks on the super cards are really cool, but I think this is my favorite just because it shows, like, the pure, like, white rice being made into, like, a giant onigiri, or rice ball. Um, it's being loaded like a actual ship. I also enjoy like it's a fire, but it's an aqua type, which is a really cool combination. You don't really see that often. The lore is on this card is just a really like funny story. I'm not gonna try to read it myself, but it's like pretty long. Yeah. I didn't actually know about this card until I watched Mr. Top 10 List's video on the top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Food monsters. So yeah, I have to kind of thank him for introducing me to this archetype. So yeah, free Suship Shari. Uh, he's it's a 4-star monster and a 2,000 attack points, so that's really cool actually. Um, yeah. I imagine how this card would attack is just being like run over by this huge rice ball. So yeah, kind of just a funny like visual to like think about, I guess. Uh, next is uh, 3 copies of Gunsin Ship Shari Red. It's more cooked here in this artwork. Has the opposite stats actually, 0 attack, 2,000 defense. Same type and attribute though, what fire, aqua type. This card, its name becomes Shari in the hand, deck, graveyard, or on the field, which actually, thankfully, doesn't count towards the max of 3 you can have each monster in your deck. So you can actually have, like, technically, I guess, with this card, you can have, like, 6 Suship Shari, I guess. So that kind of contradicts, like, the whole Harpy Lady debacle, I guess. Its effect, though, is you can reveal one other Gungan Suship Shari from your hand, special summon this card from your hand, and then you can activate this effect, which is you can special summon one Gungan monster from your deck, except Suship Shari, but negates its effects if any, and then special summon from your deck one Xyz monster that mentions the special summon monster's name using that monster as material. And this monster as material, if this is treated as an Xyz summon. So, like, really easily, like, if you want to get out, like, your big Xyz monsters, like, this card is really useful. And probably pretty necessary. Again, it's level 4, too. So. 3 of the level 5 Gungan Suship Uni. I don't know what that is being poured on the rice exactly. It looks like some kind of goldeny, like, filling or something, or kind of looks like honey, in my opinion, but it's probably not. Yeah, what this card does, though, is it's level 5, 900 attack, 500 defense points. You can reveal one other Gungan card in your hand, special summon this card from your hand, then apply all the following effects based on the card you revealed. If it's a Shari, you can special summon Shari. But if it's another Gungan monster revealed, you can place the reveal card on the bottom of your deck. And the Uni's effects continued are you can target one Gungan monster you control and change its level to 4 or 5, and then add one Gungan Suship Shari from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect against Suship Uni once per turn, but its effects are pretty useful, like bring out like the Super Dreadnought Uni by being able to change its levels from 4 to 5. Next card is 3 copies of Katsusha Shirao. Looks like here we got. Looks like. Actually, I don't know what this is. I think it's like seaweed or something. It's probably the least appetizing looking of the Gunkan monsters, honestly. What this card does is, if you control a Gunkan Suship Shari or an Xyz monster that has Shari as material, you can special summon Shirao from your hand. And during your main phase, you special summon one Gunkan monster from your hand, except Shari, and then you can take control. I'll reread that, I messed up. During your main phase, you can special summon one Gunkan monster from your hand, except Shirao, and then you can take any number of Gunkan Suship Shari from your deck or graveyard and place them on top of your deck in any order. So yeah, Shirao is pretty useful in getting back Gunkin monsters and other things. Even though I'm not a huge fan of its artwork as far as like what it looks like, but it's pretty useful actually. Last of the Duncan monsters we have Ship Ikura. Ikura. Looks like red beans being loaded and dropped into the white rice here. What Ikura can do is, if you control Shari, you can special summon it from your hand. You can always special summon Ikura once per turn this way. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 3 cards from your deck, and if you do, you can either add to your hand or special summon one Ship Shari and shuffle the rest into your deck. So, yeah, a pretty useful card, I guess, and just getting more monsters. That's all for the Gunkins, like 3 of each of them. Now to move on to like a smaller, I guess, base of this deck. We got 3 copies of Fairy type level 1 Moki Moki. I really enjoyed the little Blowski episode of GX, so I'm happy to actually use the Moki Moki cards. Then 3 copies of Moki Moki Adrift. He's always treated as Moki Moki when he's on the field or in the graveyard. You can discard him and also add 1 Moki Moki from your deck to your hand. So, next we got a big surprise here, since this deck is based off my character who's also kind of inspired by Serenity. 3 copies of Princess Absurdity, just to deal like bird damage, and she's my favorite monster, so yeah, most of my decks, if I can find a reason, will include this card. Especially if it's inspired by this specific character, so nice with getting burn damage too. One goddess of whim. She's a fairy, which actually works with Moki Moki Smackdown. So if she's destroyed, you can power up your Mokis by 3,000 points. One Calm Serenity of Gusto, just because of her name including the word Serenity in it. I think she's actually the only card in Yu-Gi-Oh! History to actually include the word Serenity in it, which is interesting. So yeah, she's cool in my book. She's also really pretty too. Kind of looks like familiar possessed Win, kind of. She's very powerful too. 1,700 attack points. Her effect doesn't really mean much for this deck. So yeah, she can be a pretty good beater though. One Otoshi Damashi, just a little sea otter guy, a little cutie. His effect can actually come in handy. Not with this deck like specifically, but just like in general, helping me in like attack boards and plow through your opponent's monsters with tokens, I guess. Yeah. Camp Serenity of Gusto and Otoshi Damashi are more so in there just because I kind of like them and they kind of remind me of my character who's based off like Serenity and Haneo and whatever. That character like has like a an otter spirit partner demon thing that she takes care of. So uh, 2 copies of the Field Spell, Pumpkin Suship, Seaside Supper Spot. What this card can do is, once per turn, if you normal or special summon a Gunkin monster, even during the damage step, you can place 1 Gunkin card from your deck on top of your deck, which is really useful, actually. And once per turn, if you control a Gunkin monster, special summoned. Let me reread that. Once per turn, if a face of Gunkin monster you control that was special summoned from the X deck is sent to the graveyard by its card. So I assume either by battle or effect, you can have your opponent pay life points equal to the monster's defense in the graveyard. And then you can special summon 1 Suship Shari from your hand and special summon 1 Gunkin Xyz monster from your extra deck by using that card you control as materials, and it's treated as an Xyz summon. So, yeah, a pretty powerful card, and forces your opponents to pay life points. So, really useful with, like, for instance, Absurdity's effect too, helping to like decrease their life points pretty fast. Also, like, there's a big like bowl of like white rice here, which is, yeah, really cool. Hanayo would be proud. One copy of the card I really wanted before I actually profiled this deck. So just 1 copy of Catch of the Day. This card, once per turn, you can reveal 1 Suship Shari from your hand and place 1 counter on this card. And then you can reveal 1 Gunkin Xyz monster from your extra deck, and your opponent declares 1 Gunkin monster's card name except Shari as mentioned on any Gunkin Xyz monster. And then you can add that declared card from your deck to your hand. And if you cannot add a card, you shuffle this card to your deck. And if this card in its owner's position is destroyed by opponent's card effect, your opponent pays exactly 500 life points for each counter on this card. So, now really easy to make your opponent, like, I guess, in a way, like, pay for your rice, I guess. And, like, a really nice way to also, like, another easy way to get out your big XZs, like, rice chips. 1 copy of, because it just reminds you of like a skeleton of rice. 1 copy of Mystic Walk. 1 Monkey Monkey Smackdown. Every time a fairy monster you control is destroyed, any Monkey Monkeys on your field will gain 3,000 attack points for that turn. So it's pretty useful, and it's like permanent. So targets in this deck, obviously, like Goddess of Whim and like any of the Monkey monsters. On polymerization. 1 pot of Avarice. I just put it in there because, like, not only is its effect good, it's basically a pot of grade too, and like has the word rice right in its name. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. I'll get back monsters in, yeah. This card is 2 copies of the Daily Special. With this card's effect, you can reveal 1 Gunkin Shari in your hand, and then reveal 3 Gunkin monsters from your deck, and your opponent chooses 1 of them to add to your hand, and shuffle the rest into your deck. And if you reveal Gunkin Suship Shari in your hand at activation, you can choose a card to add to your hand. Oh, you can choose the card to add to your hand instead of your opponent choosing. And if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn of center, you can banish it and target free Gunkin monsters in your graveyard, then shuffle them into your deck, then draw one card. So it's basically like a pot of avarice, which is nice. Except it only works Gunkin monsters. To add to that, to Jark of Avarice. Since I started making this deck, I've actually gotten to really like the Avarice cards. And how much to say here, it has the word rice in its name, which I love. And it's pretty cool artwork too, actually. Um, with this card, you can shuffle any 5 cards in your graveyard back into your deck and then draw 1 card. So, like, pretty useful for, like, getting back anything you need. Uh, 1, Deal with Phantom. Serenity uses this card in Nightmare Troubadour, so I just thought I'd put it in there because the deck is kind of inspired by, like, uh, my character, who takes inspiration from her and, like, Hanyo Koizumi. And, I have my Hanyo t-shirt on here, just for the occasion. With Deal Phantom, you can select one monster on the field and increase its attack by 100 points for each monster in graveyard. So, yeah, power your monsters to yeah. And this deck has a lot of monsters in it, so that could really help, actually. Uh, last card in the main deck is just one copy of Horn of Heaven. I just had a gold rare on me, I guess, so I, instead of just, like, forking out money to buy, like, and waiting for, like, another, like, standard, like, copy, I just went with this. Probably for a chapter of the entire game. Onto the extra deck now. Uh, 2 copies of Moki Moki King. It takes 3 Moki Mokis to fusion summon it, and when this card is removed from the field, you can special summon as many Moki Moki as possible from your graveyard, which also works with Moki Moki Adrift. So, if you can get back polymerization, it's possible to actually make both these guys. And with Goddess of Wind, too, being a fairy, Monkey Monkey Smackdown can help him out, this guy out, too. Uh, one copy of Shimoji Soldier. He's just like, he's like a living grain of rice, like, well, I thought, like, the things he was holding might be like drum sticks, like, for, like, the drum, like, the instrument, but they're actually, like, chopsticks, actually. This background also is, like, really cool. It was, like, mint green tint. And, like, yeah, he has this bolt for ice in front of him, which is kind of cool. He can, like, oh, he's also a fairy, so, like, he can work with Moki Moki Smackdown's effect, too, which is pretty cool. He takes 2 level 1 monsters to summon, and that was kind of the reason I put the Moki Mokis in this deck, but yeah, him being a fairy, too, like, helps, like, that engine even more so. So they kind of help each other out. He has 0 attack and 2,000 defense points, which is pretty nice. His his effects. When you detach an overlay unit, his first effect is at the start of the opponent's standby phase, each player can draw one card, or rather is forced to draw one card. Or you can just have both players gain 1,000 life points if you remove an overlay unit. So, getting bad life points is always good, I feel. uh, uh, now, first, I guess, we got the big boss of the ships, Super Uni-class, Super Dreadnought. Has 29 attack points, but only 500 defense. Takes 2 level 5 monsters, but with Uni's effect, that's not going to be a big deal since you can change levels. Um, this card is XZ summoned. You can apply these effects in sequence based on the materials you used. Suship Shari, draw one card. Suship Uni, this card can attack directly. And during your main phase, or your opponent's battle phase, you can target one face monster your opponent controls up to the number of Gunkan monsters you control with specials. You can target one monster. You can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of Gunkan monsters you control from your extra deck and negate their effects. So, yeah. Um, Pretty good, like, boss monster, I would say. Lets you draw a card, too, which is nice. Next is the Sharao class carrier, also in 3. Takes 2 level 4 monsters. Its effect is if you you can find these effects in sequence based on the material used. Shari, draw one card. Gunkan Suship Sharao. You can add one Gunkan spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. And while face-up card is in the field card zone, Gunkan monsters you control specials from the extra deck cannot be destroyed by card effects and gain attack points equal to their original defense. Um, so, for example, like Uni Spillacross Dreadnought, he goes up to 3,500 points. The Sharao class carrier goes up to 2,450. And being able to add like a spell or trap card. It has to be Gunkan though. Being able to add a Gunkan spell trap card from your deck to your hand is pretty good. I guess even though I don't run like a lot of each of them. The last card then is free Ikura class Dreadnought. And his effects are, of course, if you summon Shari, draw one card. And with Suship Ikura, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. And once per turn, when your Gunkan monster specials on the extra inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So that's really nice. If a Gunkan like Xyz monster can destroy a monster, you can like also destroy another card in your opponent's field for free. So yeah, that was my 40 card, I guess, plus uh, uh, 12 card extra deck for my Gunkin Sue ship Rice archetype. I really like these cards, and I'm really happy with the way this deck turned out. So much so that I might not, even if we get more Gunkin cards. I'm not sure if I would change this build because it just, I don't know. I like, I guess the way I build it, just also being able to pay homage to my own character, I guess, with some of the additions I made to this deck. So yeah, also being able to finally make a sort of good Moki deck makes me pretty happy. Yeah, let me know what you think of the Gunkins. What's your favorite flavor? Not flavor, I guess, but uh, brand of rice, I guess. Um, just because Hanyo Koizumi, I've always wanted to try white rice, I guess. um, yeah, that's gonna do it for this deck. Next will probably be my Misty Treadwell deck. So look forward to that. And anyway, catch you later.